I hope that is working. Right then. Welcome aboard. Hola. Welcome back to the old EXFL. Do you want round 18, I believe? Only 3 races left. 2 races. Season has flown by. And of course it is on Halloween. So attendance is a bit lower with 12, but nothing we haven't been used to. And that's a bit of a Halloween surprise. Was a missing Mercedes, red for Tiger, was one penalty point away from being kicked. And he had a penalty point after Kota appealed it, and then got unappealed. So although red is technically unkicked, he's not racing today, and is being filled, and Logan is filling in. Right now, it's currently Frankie on provisional pole. I believe he just set the fastest lap. I kind of wasn't paying attention. But JJ harnessing prime no rules racing league. I believe Mexico is one of the shortest tracks on the calendar. Maybe the shortest on the EXFL calendar by a bit of a margin, because Monaco is the smallest, that's not on the calendar. And then, I can't remember what's the second shortest, but Mexico's third. And depending if this whatever second smallest is, Mexico could be the smallest track on the calendar. Austria. How can I forget? Okay, so the second shortest track on the calendar. As well. And it's also one of my favourites. So, it gets some qualities. It's quite a fun track as well. 2 very long DRS zones, which always opens itself to overtaking. As even saw in real life. All the action kind of comes to Sector 1. There. Apologies, I'm also dying of a cold. So commentary is not the best. Some people have finally come back on track now. Who will be first? It'll be Sam. He's close to getting his first podium last time out. Or first podium in a while. I think he hasn't had a podium the entire season since round 1. And for that, he's had one in the races I've missed. But we'll start the final flyers on board with the Ferrari man, who I believe is also leading the constructors still. It is crunch time with the constructors, definitely. As Ferrari do lead, 5 points ahead of McLaren, and then Williams very, very on the cusp. 126 points back with 129 points remaining. So, just JJ needs to hope for some sort of a miracle. I don't know how, if there's even a chance, because of only 12 people, and the fact it's only a one-man team. Anyway, Sam's already invalidated. Okay, and so is Danny actually, so 2 people have already scrapped their laps for the end. Here's you, right? Just get them up. who's also on lap going through sector 1. We also have Enric, I believe. I can't see the time up top. I believe he's down, so I can't really tell because my party over there is right over it. Let's just see. Wouldn't tell me, but if I can, while I hit here. There we go. Out of the way. Right, you're right. Using a lot more of its ERS for the middle, well, this kind of middle straight. It's 2 attempts up. Right now, that would put him in the conversation for third. That would be a great lap if he gets a great final sector. In 1 or 2 attempts, and more attempts, and maybe he can hook himself up a potential top front row start. Here comes the Czech, and it's P3. Does go ahead of JJ, who is also about to crush his happiness because he's 2 attempts up. The man who's, I believe, he's chasing the most poles in a season. I believe that record is currently held by Jay, or in tier 2 with 15 in the season. As Frankie, I didn't even notice. I thought it was Sam, and he's gone even quicker at 14.2. But let's keep, and JJ's invalid, so that will not be another pole for him. Jaden across the line, he takes a pole. That is crucial for Jaden after a disappointing race in Kota. Danny's actually still doing another lap. He's 2 attempts up. This could actually be even better. I thought these two would have been done after that first lap. But Danny across the line, here goes P4. Now Samuel Drake Lee, what's he gonna do? He's also 2 attempts up. This could put JJP6. Doesn't. Loses the 10th final sector. Logan's got P7. Then Sam P8. Enric P9. Jakob, who's also making a return, P10. Not the return he would have wanted. Will and drifting a considerably large way away. And that is the qualifying order. The top 10 separated by 1.2 seconds. Then the entire rest of the grid, 12 drivers, is currently occupied by 3 seconds. Just Will drifting. The only real surprise I'd say is JJ. Of course, he did say a really good lap at the very end. Usually he's at the top. He's at a 14.390, which still wouldn't have gone pole. Albeit probably like, you gotta count in, probably like lost a bit of focus because obviously after an invalidation, you know that lap's not gonna count. But even still. Now we wait. There it is. And now we wait for the strategies to all go down. As Mexico is also a very, very tricky one on the strategy. 1 stop, 2 stop, both of them are equally as tricky to manage because tire wear at Mexico is one of the worst on the entire calendar. I believe it's up there with likes of like your Abu Dhabis, your Qatars. That second sector really kills your tyres, so if you're not careful, you could, if you don't put enough management in, then you could really hurt your race. Let's check the tyres. So, Jane and Frankie both opting to go hard. Uri, who's probably in the best position. Third is more likely the better starting position than second, really, because you have a double slipstream. The 3 behind the front row, all opting to go medium, so that might put a lot of pressure on Frankie and Jane. And Sam, Logan and Sam go back on hard, so I cannot forget how annoying it is to have Sam and Sam. And Enric and Jakob gone medium. Drifting's already been disqualified. I don't know how, if he's somewhere ran into someone, but he's only one disqualified. We'll probably see him bow out after lap 1 anyway. I believe he hit Jakob, which I'm surprised. As we go right round to the start, we now wait for the rest of the grid lineup as well as the front pair. And one of the best lap 1s of the season, I'd say, at Mexico, purely because of the staggeringly long straight you have to get you're met by even. Grid check. Everyone seems to be parked in well. Enric seems quite far ahead. But anyway, we go to the lights for the EXFL Mexican Grand Prix. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 red lights. And we're racing at Mexico. It's a great start from, I think, Union. Urai's got a great launch as well. He's already alongside of Jane. And he's 4 wide into turn 1 already. Danny's got a great start. He's taking the lead already. But now it's almost 5 wide into turn 1. A lot of argy-bargy. JD spun. Oh, that's very risky. Urai's taking the lead. He's had a great start. JD, I think he has damage from that, but his car was basically sideways going into the turn 1. And he somehow stayed alive. Jaden's down in 7th now. He's behind Sam. Jakob's got up to 8th. Logan's already fallen into 11th. That's not a good start, as Will's looking around the outside of Sam. He will make it done. He'll also go down the inside of Jakob. He has a bit of wheel margin, but he can't make it done. And I think Sam has gone ahead of Jaden, yeah. And that's ruined his race, really, because that was going to take a long time to get back to the start. But Urai, hasn't won a race this season. Hasn't done many races this season, if that. But the V-Carb still takes the lead after an incredible start at the Mexican Grand Prix. I think Sam gets back past Will. Drifting's kind of getting a bit punchy here. Getting past, almost getting past Logan. They're going side by side. Bit of a tension there between the two. Logan goes round the outside, a bit off track, but still makes the move stick. As we now go to the land, it's now 4 times between Uri and Danny. And he'll probably have a bit more slipstream for Danny. He has used much more of his battery compared to the V-Carb, who should have a great start. And let's just check, has JJ got damage from that lap 1? Because it definitely looked like someone lost a bit of wing from that. And if you say 3 into 1 doesn't go, how about 5? That was the turn 1 for you. And it's not giving me good camera angles right now because, actually, let's just do that. Well, that doesn't help either, because Williams is one of the only teams who uses a black front wing, and it just makes the car look like it's always driving with that one. And I believe there's 2 end plates on that car, so JJ should be influenced by any damage. Unless maybe some side pod damage, maybe, because he did kind of go sideways into, I think it was Jaden. But nonetheless, there's a yellow flag. That's Will taking a spin. He's lost it at the S's. Of course, had the longest DNF streak in the season, I believe, as chucks it into the first quarter of the far sector, going for the old baseball stadium area. I believe this stadium has, or this track has the most fans in attendance in real life, but Red Bull versus Red Bull basically, as Danny down the inside of Uri takes the lead. Uri tries to switch back, Will retires, and I think Danny does take the lead with the first DRS of the day, and he gets double DRS as well just to go on top, and he will hold on to the lead for now. Uri forced to back off into P2. JJ still lurking behind with the Williams. Frankie also had a bad start, but he hasn't had as much of a loss as Jaden, who's still behind Sam. Neither Jakob hasn't made much gain on those hards. Well, on those hard runners. As we are down to 11 runners in this Mexico Grand Prix. I'm sure drifting will make it 10 soon. Leslie is actually finally got his wheel fix. Of course, he was meant to be a full-time this season, but the broken wheel has kind of taken that away and has missed pretty much the entire season due to that damage. But Danny sets the fast lap. 8/10 is the gap between him and Uri. But Uri now has the exact same weaponry that Danny had the lap before. He'll go down the inside with that DRS. Doesn't even need that much ERS to use, as he will slot right back past into the lead. I feel like this race is going to be much of the DRS train and switching, swapping, I think is the actual phrase. But yeah, Uri takes the lead back from Danny, as we can now get the tyre wear off. Position changes. Enric, I didn't even notice that. The Aston Martin, out of nowhere, has just appeared in P5. And we can watch from behind the Aston Martin wing as Jaden was right around the outside of Sam. Sam will get the elbows out in the Ferrari. Ferrari versus McLaren. McLaren will prevail as Jaden goes down the inside. And that's one done from the McLaren driver, as he definitely needs all positions he can in this race now. Still chasing the championship leader, which is, I believe, now JJ, after... He did win Kota. Yes, so if we just look at the championship standings, Jane is still second in the championship, but he has a staggering amount of, I believe that is what is that? Sorry, I have to do some math. It's, oh, okay. Only a 7-point gap upon further inspection, but Danny doesn't actually get past UI this time. There's a yellow flag, but I think that's Logan who's had a spin. He's lost his front wing. I believe that probably be Logan calling it quits for today. Swift and quick exit from the Mercedes driver. There, a quick dive on the inside of Frankie. Doesn't make the move on JG, as Shane and Sam immediately get past Enric. As I was just about to say how good that Esteban's start was, and it's swiftly gone right back to how he's still getting 2 positions among Jakob and drifting, and all the medium runners at the start. Everyone getting 2 positions. But you gain 2, you lose 2. Well, and 4 in Jane's case. And that McLaren sees 2 of his championship rivals. I believe Frankie's tantalisingly close to being eliminated from championship contention now. There's only 2 rounds left. Look at ahead, no real movement ahead nor behind, as Sam actually got back past Jaden in that whole kerfuffle. If I just calculate the gap between JJ and Frankie, that would be... okay, it's only 25 points, but if Frankie has any sort of bad luck today and gets to score big, then he'll need quite the luck to stay in championship contention. Of course, it was looking so strong for the Ferrari mid-season, and then races like Silverstone especially has definitely hurted the Ferrari's title hopes, but he still has a chance. There's always a fighting chance for the Ferraris, as they always expect the championship. And Frankie, I believe Hards are getting quicker now, because Frankie's definitely showing more pace than the front 3. That is to the extent of the tyre degradation Mexico has. And let's check ERS. Danny and Euro have saved up a bucket load of battery. JD hasn't saved as much in comparison, but Frankie, using all his battery, doesn't really have enough front speed as the leaders switch again. That's what I meant to say. Swip. That's a new word. Jakob's also swooped down into 9th. The VP got overtaken by Sam, who's now chasing after Enric. Of course, these two had many battles last season in Tier 2. Two of the quickest drivers Tier 2 has pretty much ever seen. Both in their first season, and both of them definitely excelling, showing they can fight in Tier 1, and they have done this season. And Sam, the lovely around the outside overtake, takes P7 away from the Aston Martin. Sam's had a very under the radar season, is how I'll describe it. Hasn't had a podium yet this season, but has been quite consistently finishing in the points in every race he's done. I think he had a P7 in... I don't know where he finished in Australia, but he had a great finish. As down the inside of the stadium section goes Frankie's. JJ's dropped down to 5th. Jaden manages to snatch up another position against the Williams driver. Caught lacking, and the stadium section dropped roaring after that overtake, I can assume. As Frankie now has actually lost DRS, so that maybe that move was a bit too ambitious. And short-term gain for long-term loss. As now Jaden, after having all the way down to P7, 8 laps in, has already got back to P3. That McLaren has some serious pace. He's been picking his overtakes at the right times, and has, with the double DRS, has managed to get back passes. Uri holds firm against Danny again. It's quite the discussion of where we want to be in this race, because DRS is that powerful, and you get two chunks of DRS really. So you go from having DRS, you go from being in the lead by like 9/10, and then by turn 5 you're behind by almost 8. That's just how Mexico is. And of course there's 3 DRS zones now because of this little straight. Doesn't really do much for you. Kind of wants to influence overtaking at this corner, the hairpin, into the stadium section. Just look there how beautiful that final sector is. Isn't really good for overtaking, as they kind of choose to make it more so the cars are going around for every side of the stadium. But if it was for overtaking, they'd just round it out and just make it a single hairpin. Don't really need to a little kink to it. As Sam is now getting past JJ. JJ has fallen off a cliff now. Hasn't got the ERS to fight, and maybe those mediums as well. But JJ is not having a great race. The championship leader could see this. Could see the gain he's already made. Starting to slip away already. Reigning champion, of course, as well. Has he got? Did he have damage from that dive? No. Oh, he's got to double check. Seems like he was just caught napping to that much of an extent. He's lost DRS and many positions. He was stalking the leaders not that long ago, and now it's basically done the switch between him and Jane. And it's rain. I did not even expect that, but wow, it is now rain. Quite a humid place. You wouldn't really expect her as Jaden. So I get past Uri. So those hearts definitely finding grip now. Jaden is locked in and he's on a charge. If that McLaren comes back and takes a win, then I salute it. Now he'll probably take the lead as well. This McLaren is definitely proving that he... Uri is definitely struggling now. He's already being almost overtaken by Frankie, as they'll be drag racing down the strip. It's not Las Vegas just yet, but Jane commandingly takes the lead. He's not right down there. He's already gained 5/10 on him, as Frankie will dive down the inside of Uri. You're kind of defenseless with that DRS, and Frankie slips into P3. Uri goes from 1st to 4th. Of course, you got to think about their tyres. But right now, it's looking all hard, as even Sam is almost making a move on Uri. He goes down the inside, and even now the Ferraris look ever so dominant. And although it's raining, hard definitely the tyres to be on. As Jakob calls into the pits, VCarb are doing a tactical strategy. VCarb are the only 2 teams with 2 drivers today. Nick is missing out for McLaren. Robin isn't here for Red Bull. Ferrari and RP are the only team with 2 drivers, excluding, well, now at least excluding Aston Martin. This is a real test because Jakob can now just lap around. He can kind of time the gap between him drifting and see if that gap gets any quicker. Well, Sean's, and it is time for Inters. But let's just wait and see. Jaden is 2 seconds down the road now. He's just checked out. F and Union. Not had this the entire season. He has not. hasn't tasted a easy win, I believe. That's the start of the season. This man was struggling to win races, not struggling to get podiums, but the only thing that eluded him for the first half was just finishing first, and now he is commandingly leading, and both Ferraris now kind of just tag team Danny, kind of defenseless against both the Scuderias, and their mediums just seem lifeless. Even Sam, look at him on the hards. Out of nowhere, the Alpine looks quick. Could this be the day Sam L takes his first EXFL podium in Tier 1? I would love to see it, but he has to get past these two in the Red Bull family cars, and then he'll have to fight with one of the Ferraris, or maybe some bad luck comes either one's way. You can see even Jade struggling on those hards in the wet conditions. One thing this might probably help though is tyre temps, because well, tyre temps are one of the worst at Mexico, especially in that middle sector. They can just go up to staggeringly high temps out of nowhere. But when it's raining, of course, it doesn't really matter. But still, I could definitely expect that. Even Sam, I didn't even notice it. That is how bad mediums are. Like in the middle sector, he's just able to just claw back like 1.7 seconds and get past Uri. Uri finally decides he's had enough of these ridiculously horrendous tyres. He's going to try an early gamble. JJ called the early gamble. I didn't even notice the bully. I'm missing a whole lot of things today. But JJ called the gamble. I don't even. Where the hell did he pit? Let's compare lap times between the leader and the Williams. He actually pit last lap, so I can't really compare it. Here's Hendrick's laps. He did 25-0, 25-6. Jakob's done 25-2. Let me compare the top leader of the F1 Union. He's in the 24 still, so expect that they just take a bit longer to grip up. Depends on what these two do. Oh, sorry about that. Overturned. Oh, whoa. Drifting almost causing our first safety car of the day, as he let pass the first of the two Inters runners. Well, first to call a gamble, and the leader has called it. He is deciding to go on to the Inters now. Is it time? Because both Ferraris have stayed out, so it wasn't just one staying out for the other guy. So now I guess we'll wait and see that gap. 16.3 seconds between the Ferrari and McLaren. Would both Ferraris come in? It's a strange one to call. As Sam now actually gets back past Uri. Did Uri go on hards? Uri's gone on hards! Oh dear. That might be it for the RB. That is a ridiculous strategy call. Hards in the wet. I don't know what Uri's thinking. Maybe he forgot to set his strategy. He'll probably blame it on the game. I don't know what he's done. He was in such a good position to go back up to third even, because look at JJ. He's gone up there and he's actually staying out. He is toughing it out on those hards, which is fair enough. Maybe it gets dry after this. Maybe that's what Frankie's doing, because Sam definitely isn't. He's gone back out the Inters. He's only gone out P4, so JJ, who went first on the into the other front runners. He's now P3 and only 4 laps ahead. So that Ferrari definitely seems like he could get a podium first time in a long time. Have the chance to come into Sam after a race. If that gap will be shrinking very, very quickly, almost sinking. Oh God! Frankie almost basically wiped himself out. He rejoins luckily about 10 seconds, and I think it's time that Ferrari comes in. Surprised they didn't commit Sam instead of Frankie instead of Sam. Sam decided to take the undercut, and you can just tell Frankie is not enjoying this at all. He will be falling down to at least P6 or 7, as he will just drift it in. There we go. Doesn't spin there. Lucky to even keep his 4 wheels on the car. And no damage either. As now Frankie will peel in. Fresh inters on. Let's just see how far they'll go down. Jaden takes the lead. JJ will take P2. Then Sam will now take P3. Things are on the up for the Ferrari driver. Danny takes P4, Sam P5. He's on a charge. He hasn't got any battery though, so he needs to recharge. Uri P7, still on the hards though. Not really the most ideal tyre right now. But he's not really losing time to the guys ahead. He was around. He has been. Either. Love Xbox. There we go. He has been, well, losing time, but not that much in comparison. He has lost much more this lap, though. So, I kind of have to eat my own words, basically. But, yeah, Sam is actually had a great race right now. He's in P5. Alpine is having the time of his life competing against the top tier guys. Young Samuel. Now, basically, with 20 laps left, everyone is on inters, barring one. Sam, oh no, that's not good. Sam has picked up a penalty, so he now has about 3 seconds. So, I can hope and pray that he possibly gets in out of the well, Danny's DRS, well, not DRS 3-second window, but. That also has given a lifeline to Sam for potential podiums. Imagine that. I would love to see Sam get a podium today. He's gaining on Danny as well, which is just beautiful. Not that I'm not to diss Danny, but I'm rooting for Sam. Where's tyres? There's tyres. They're on the same amount of tyres. Let's change that again. 6/7 the gap. 1.2 to Sam, and then of course 6/7 to JJ. Bit of wheel spin on the exit for Sam. He is still gaining on Danny. And he has DRS. Not DRS. He has more ERS to use. How close is he going to get? They both don't have any battery. Both of them, well, not close enough for Sam. As it stands, it will be Danny P3, Sam P4. Still would be his best finish in our EXFL in Tier 1 as the RBs make a switch. UI finally decided to go off those hards. Don't know why he decided to stick with the hards, really. As there he goes. Back on track, P9. Still will be ahead of drifting. But you've got to think just what could have been, because he was leading the race at some point. He was fine for the win. What would have been an incredible win for the reigning, well, not reigning, reigning constructors champions is RB. That gap seems to be growing between Jaden and JJ even. So it seems like F1 Union has checked out and possibly taking I think a 5th win this season, maybe a 6th. I'd say 5th is definitely the number I'm thinking of. I'd assume. As Sam's lost a bit more time, he has Frankie now right up his gearbox. Now it seems like Ferrari will take P5 away from the Alpine. There'll still be a P5 after the penalties, but Frankie now goes up to P5. Well, net P4, that's what I was meant to say. And now he is the one challenged Danny for that podium. Drifting gets a pen. Well, he's 7 seconds off. You're right. He just made a pit stop, so I'm sure that won't really matter. I just realised that I might mute for that entire bit. Oh, cheating pips. Anyway, Danny just about holds off a move from Frankie, who almost got up to P4 podium on the cards, and the gap did grow between them and Sam, and other Sam now gets a free second, so now it's well, driving for position. Still a great race, even if Sam doesn't get that podium. He was looking on very Oliver Behrman like he was looking on for a small smidgen. Now let's head back over to this battle. Ferrari versus Red Bull versus other Ferrari. Now Frankie's right up Danny's gearbox. Danny has no EOS to defend from Sam. Is Frankie going to send it again? He will fight. He will not decide to. We'll just back out for now. He will use a different line and open up to the corner. It seems like JJ is definitely the one struggling on those on the wets right now. Possibly a low wing setup for the Williams. Still gapping Sam. Sam was he is on the freshest intes of them all actually, and well, yeah, there you go. So that's probably another reason there. Is JJ's on 9-lap old intes compared to 6-lap old intes. Then there's a 7, then 5. Right there, Frankie should be the quickest of this bunch. Because he's on, well, now 6 lap old inters. But he does have Danny in front of him, who's kind of just being a roadblock for his potential, well, trying to claw his way back up to a potential win. I think everyone will be making a second stop in this race, however. They'll probably stretch it a bit. I don't think they'll be able to make a second, well, only a one-stop worker. There goes Frankie down the inside for his Red Bull gain. Will Frankie go down the outside? Is there going to be room? Isn't really much, but Frankie does have better traction on the fresher tyres. We'll go right around the outside. Danny will have the inside line. And they're going to go side by side into the S's, and Danny just about gets back ahead. Same as earlier, as Frankie gets really close to the rear end of that Red Bull. But he is literally just breathing down his neck. And that's probably a corner cut. And is he going to try and move into the stadium section again? He made it before. And he decides not to. This battle may end up going on for the entire race's stands, because well, Frankie just can't seem to find a way back past, or not back past, but past Danny. Actually, yeah, no, back past, because he did get past him earlier. Does actually stick his nose out. I thought he wasn't making a move then, but he is. He's gone to a switchback. He almost dives down the inside, but he just about backs out. Now we see Frankie actually is down round the outside of the stadium section. That was a extremely brave move, and he finally gets past the Red Bull. That move has been coming for a while. He does have a bit less ERS, but both equal. Danny does have the slipstream though. He will try and take back the potential podium. Sam is still there. Frankie does on the outside line. Where's... No, that's Sam, that's why. Frankie takes, well, claims that P4. The UA also hits a penny. He's also moved up into P8, slowly making his way back. He's now chasing down Enric, potential E7. I feel like that's as far as it will go. Enric has been gapped 40 seconds by Sam, which is quite incredible. Sam has showed extreme pace. I don't know if Enric's pit. You know, Enric has pit, okay. Even as Jakob has pulled in some pits and retired. Okay. Oof. Almost thought there'd be a safety car. Look at Sam. Like, just major props to Albin. He has had such a good race, and if it wasn't for that 3 second, he'd be fighting for a podium. As someone's gone into the pits, that's JJ who's gone into the pits. So he's gone, well, his inters can't go on any longer, and so is Sam actually. Sam's done the exact same thing. So it definitely proves my suspicions you cannot go to the end of those inters. JJ, of course, still stays ahead of that Ferrari. For quite a year. And the gap does Grove, isn't it? Let's just see when these guys come in then. I assume it'll be this lap for Jane, this lap for Jane then. Yeah, I think that'll be it. But maybe everyone else pits to react to Jane. That's what I was trying to point out. My head kind of went blank. Frankie's already gapped Danny by 2 seconds. Red Bull may put up a great defence, but the pace doesn't really seem like it's there in the wet for that Red Bull. As Sam is now looking to get past, still. As we would, McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull, Alpine. As everything drifting gets lapped for the first time in this race. I haven't seen that in quite a while. Blue flags. And just goes to show how dominant Jade's been this race. Still got 11 laps left. But it looks like that McLaren will be comfortably taking it home. Without any bad luck, of course. Jade stays out. What will Frankie do? Is he going to pit? Frankie doesn't bite. Danny, is he going to pit? He doesn't bite. Sam doesn't bite either. So it seems like they're trying to, well, either make it easier for a 2-stop to work, or they're just trying to stretch out to the end. I honestly have no clue how to strategize in these wet conditions. kind of just sitting quiet, just watching the race unfold at the moment. It seems like there's fresh inters on Sam and Frankie is definitely helping out, obviously, but he's gained 1.4 seconds in his last couple of laps. Ferrari is flying along. Sam has dropped off from Danny now as well. The Red Bull's finally gapped the Alpine. That gap is also shrinking quite dramatically between Danny and Sam and JJ even. You can tell that Alpine is definitely struggling on those rears. Gap now 6.7 seconds between McLaren and Ferrari. 7 laps left. It's starting to think maybe Frankie can actually come out of nowhere and win this, because he is closing that gap quite a lot. He will need a miracle if he wants to catch in on that pace. But if we just compare lap times, 7 tenths quicker on that last lap. Even only 1 tenth quicker on the last lap than 28. Yeah, it definitely seemed like that Ferrari had a mistake last lap, but even then, he is showing great pace and potentially could win this race if he continues it. He would need quite the fumble from Jane, however. I can't see JJ or Sam winning this, or getting up back into that fight. I don't know if JJ can even catch up to Sam in the end. God, there we go. It's 5.9 with 6 laps left, 6 seconds around there. Frankie basically needs to start taking out a second lap, which, considering those tyres, if you just only a 2 lap differential, is that going to give you a second lap? It will be, well, it's quite risky. Well, I can't see it happening. Seems like this may be the final results. So I don't think anyone's near. Maybe JJ could catch Sam, but right now it's looking like Alpine's on target for a career best in Tier 1. There's that gap with 5 laps left is 5.7. gap is down to 5 seconds now. I don't think it will happen. So basically we're just gonna ride and coast home with Jaden. I don't think much is gonna happen in this race. Logan's only now left the session. He actually, at least he stayed. Probably helping out his good pal Sam. As JJ is basically, well, now within 3 seconds of Sam. So we're gonna be 5. Other Sam is now 9 seconds off JJ. Actually has managed to sort of fall away from JJ and not gain time with those fresh inters, which is really strange. He struggled on those new inters in comparison, which is bizarre. We actually have an overtake. Didn't think we'd even have that, but JJ actually gets past Sam, and now I feel like we won't get any more in the end. Unless by by some miracle, we might have a fight for a podium, but I feel like this is Danny's to take. He will probably be taking it with both hands, as we will start, well, the penultimate lap very soon, but there's really nothing to do, because this race is awfully long. 36 laps is quite the ball. I'd love to be able to be tire where I am. Maybe then we could see an insight of how these guys are struggling, or how much of an advantage other guys have on the tyres, who's in better conditions. But no, all we can have is the MFD. Can't check fuel unless if you have fancy camera angles. Can't check nothing. As finally, start penultimate lap of the race. Only 2 more left. sure this will be. Everyone here is hoping it'll end soon, except for JJ, who hopes there's probably 2 extra laps, maybe, to get podium. But like Danny would definitely deserve more. He's had a fairly good race in the Red Bull. He was fine with the lead early on, then with the mediums as they fell off, and held off held off Frankie for quite a while. Of course, the quicker tyres in the Ferrari finally came into his own. And yeah, finally, looks like he might have it into him after the race. Got podium in Kota, and back-to-back podiums for Red Bull. I think that's the first time of the season. Let's see, URS left the session 2.6. If only we actually had a couple more laps. I'm saying I want the race to end now. Just imagine what it could have been, as we will go around to the stadium section for the second to last time. As we start the final lap of the race, 2 seconds is the gap in the end. Now we basically just have a one-man showdown between. Can't get 2 seconds on a lap. I highly doubt it, but I feel like this is just Jaden doing his final lap of the race. We'll claw that gap back by a significant amount. 17 points now will probably come back down to at least like, let's say 13, I think it is 13, 12. Because, if he finished 5th, it would be 15. And 4th, I think, is 12, so 13-point gap. Even Frankie is actually kind of having some inroads on that gap. His is now in the lead and in the championship. His will now be, I believe, no, still 22, I think. Jane, definitely though, looks the man to beat after taking pole, and we have a new conquistador taking another win at Mexico as the fireworks go off in the stadium. The papaya will rule at the red, white and green as drifting will park across the line to just go left out, as Jane will cross the line to win the Mexican Grand Prix. Frankie will take second as, oh my god, that got really close in the end. But Danny, 2 tenths, will just about hold on. Well, not even 2 tenths, half, just under a tenth. We'll take a podium from JJ. He really gained on that final lap. Props to Danny for holding on, and props to JJ. Sam will come across the line for a brilliant P5. And other Sam will come across the line for another P6 finish. Henrik, a fair way away, but still another P7 finish for the Aston Martin team, as he will just come in the final quarters now. Then we have Uri in P8, what could have been for the VCAR after having such an impressive start to this race. I think he left. Yeah, that's a ghosted VCAR, alright. As Henrik across the line, that is the final. And there's your base, all these little things. Sam drove the do. I 100% agree with that. And there's your final results. Jane winning from Frankie under a second in the end. One lap and that would have been really close. Danny by only under a tenth between JJ. Sam P5, Sam P6, Enric P7, Uri P8, Drifting 9, Jakob P10, and that's it. I couldn't get the warnings out. And now let's try and get some interviews going. I believe, well, a very boring race. I don't think we'll do any interviews. But, yeah, I think it is. Let me just check what race it will be next weekend. It will be Abu Dhabi, with 2 races left in the season. A championship between Jane, JJ, and Frankie is very much tightened up, and anyone could win it. Everyone wants to rule the world, as Sky Sports say. Shall see you next week under the lights in Abu Dhabi.